Hello, I'm Rob Chirnside, your host for tonight, and welcome to another weekly installment of Cecil Weekly today, Monday, December the 5th. We have with us in the studio tonight representatives from the meeting ground, Shenise and Daquan. Shenise, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Daquan, welcome.
Thank you.
Shenise, I'm going to start with you first. Tell us about your position there at Meeting Ground and a little bit about what you do, and we'll take it from there.
Sure. So I am the program director with Meeting Ground. There are 3 sites under that umbrella. There's the Mary Randall Center. We serve men, women, children. There's also Wayfarer's House. We serve women and children. And then there is Settlement House. We serve men only. I serve at the Mary Randall Center. It's a drop-in day center. I like to think of it as a house, take off the roof, turn it over. All the things that you will find in there, we try to provide to our guests who are currently experiencing a time of homelessness. So we provide showers, breakfast. We have a partnership with Wawa, so we try to provide that. We have laundry services. It runs the gamut of things that we do.
So on a daily basis, a person who may be homeless can come to Mary Randall Center and kind of have a home away from home.
Yes, it's a drop-in day center, so literally you hear about us, you come, and then we'll go from there. We try to have an honest heart-to-heart conversation, and we try to provide first for the basic needs, and then from there we try to learn what are your goals, what are your needs, how can we help you move beyond this, time in your life.
That's good to hear, because I would think that for most people to have a home, to manage a home, and to feel at home somewhere is very important.
Right, and that's our slogan, a path to home.
So it takes more than you, obviously.
Yeah.
Daquan, what is your
Yes.
function down there?
I am the volunteer coordinator of Meeting Ground, so I get volunteers that have our best interests at heart, but also the guest. So all volunteers bring something different to the table. We have people who bring different donations. They drive and do different things. I'm one-on-ones with the guest. So my goal was just to get the right people in there.
So you're actively, Daquan, recruiting volunteers to come work with you and the Meeting Ground program, specifically Mary Randall, or all over?
Yes, all sites. I'm actually the volunteer coordinator for all sites under Meeting Grounds. So we're looking for different things in all the areas.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Shenise, but Mary Randall is by the bowling alley, more or less in Elkton, by Hicks Funeral Home.
Yes.
And Wayfarer's House is down towards Meadow Park.
Yes.
And Settlement House is on Main Street up west of the post office.
Yes, exactly
Yes.
right.
So someone could spend some time walking from one to the other to the other.
Definitely.
It's ideal location, honestly, and it really helps as people try to build their lives. They're right next to the hospital, right next to social services, right next to the health department. So we're not sending anyone down the street. We say, hey, see our neighbor right next door.
Right.
The next step.
So the accessing on the various services, the hospital, social services, the health department. Do you, within your organization, do you do some case management to help people find
Yes.
what they need?
Yes, I would say that is really at the heart of what we do. Again, we try to provide for the basic needs, but after that, we try to build relationship. I see it as an opportunity to get to know people. And then from there, we sit down one-on-one and we talk. We have a heart-to-heart to see what is it, that has a person stuck here, and how can we move beyond that?
Right.
So.
Right. Well, I would think that maybe some of them may get a library card. They can use the computers, or do you have computers they can use?
We do have computers now. I'm very grateful for that donation. And we have it there. It's right in the main room. People can go there, do their resume. They can, set up email, and with email, they have access to so many other opportunities.
Yeah, a lot of jobs, I would think, you apply online.
Yeah, especially now.
Definitely.
Well, now, Daquan, you're relatively new
Yes.
with the program. What did you think when you first came there? What were your first impressions of, I guess, Mary Randall Center?
My first impressions was, first of all, my first word was wow. Because living in Elkton all my life, I've been there 20 years. You've seen homeless people and you've seen the homelessness, and even outreach with church. But to be up close and personal, really meant a lot to me. and getting close with them and knowing their different stories. So it's just an amazing experience, something that you have to do hands-on and be there.
Mm-hmm.
So you have become a friend to a lot of the guests.
Yes.
And they've shared their stories with you.
Yes.
Could you share with our viewers maybe what's the furthest or most incredible situation that someone has come to land in Elkton and actually, without naming names, I guess you don't want to name names,
Right.
but I mean, Alaska, South America, Europe, you know?
Mm-hmm. So where they came from?
Yeah, whatever you would think would be interesting to our viewers.
I think we have a lot of people who, of course, come all over. I had a guest that I met the other day who came from Baltimore. And basically, you know, he wasn't sure what area he was in, and he just found himself in Elkton. So he came to Elkton, and someone told him about the Mary Randall Center. And he came over and just basically said that he wanted to be in a better situation, and knew that we could help him. So we were there, you know, in the landmark of Elkton and right in the middle and where everyone can see us. So he came, and we're right now working to get him in a better situation.
Good. Better situation being a job, maybe permanent residence.
Yes, because they come with their own goals, and basically we just put our heads together as staff to put them in a better situation.
What do you think, either of you, is the greatest challenge that a person who is homeless might be facing? Obviously, winter's coming on. It's going to be cold outside. But as far as trying to get from homelessness to reach their goals, what's the greatest challenge do you think they have?
I think, well, first of all, I guess maybe it's twofold. Recently, somebody said people judge us, you know? And I think that holds a lot of people back from stepping forward and saying, I need help. You know, I tell them, let's talk, let's get real. Because it's only when you're honest with yourself, when you're honest with us, when you're honest with God, that the help is readily available. So I think oftentimes we put on a mask and pretend that everything is okay. But I told them, homelessness is kind of both a curse and a blessing at the same time. A curse in that, you know, you mentioned the elements, you know, it's not fun, you know, to say the least. But in some ways, it's a blessing because it's obvious. And the sooner something becomes obvious, the sooner you can get free from whatever it is. And whether a person is homeless or not, we're all dealing with something, you know. And I guess my hope and my goal is to let people know that God said you were born for a reason, you know, and there's a plan and there's a purpose for each and everybody's life. So they have to come to believe that they are worth it. And it's time to let down the mask and run. Be a free bird, you know. And it's a path to home, not just in a physical residence, but within themselves and then within the community, whichever community they decide to live in.
I'm glad you mentioned that, the community, because folks can't do it on their own. They can't do it with you guys working with them.
Right.
What other organizations do you collaborate with?
So for starters, we have also the Emergency Rotating Shelter, which is a winter program. And I think they're such a beautiful model of collaboration. We collaborate with local churches in the community to host our guests each week, all the way from November into spring. So I think that's a really awesome collaboration in and of itself. But then also we work very closely with social services, Cecil County Health Department. We also work closely with a lot of mental health agencies. And I think that's really key, you know, because as people go through crises, they need help, you know, real help, you know. And then we also work closely with the Drug and Alcohol Recovery Center, which I know is a part of the health department, but they have been really key, you know, in helping us, you know, help people along into recovery programs.
For me, that's great to hear, because I just recently took early retirement from the health department. So when I see some of my colleagues, I'm going to encourage them to watch this segment of Cecil.tv to see your kudos to the health department.
Definitely.
That's great to hear.
Thank you.
Again, please tell us who you need specifically to help with Meeting Ground as volunteers.
Okay. Definitely. Right now, I can just give the rundown of the list. We're looking for some good morning hospitality people, which are just opening up the day center before the van arrives at about 7:30. Setting out breakfast for the guests and welcoming the guests as they come in. We're looking for emergency rotating shelter drivers, which are drivers who pick them up from the Mary Randall Center and take them to the site, whatever site that's going to be that day. So we're looking for someone for 7 a.m., which is the early morning shift, and then 5 p.m. We're also looking for intake, which is just helping at the day center, closing the door, ensuring all the guests are cleared for entry, because you want to make sure that they're safe. They're safe, and also the volunteers are safe as they're going over to the churches. We're also looking for weekend intake doing the same thing, and also overnight monitors, which would just maintain a safe, restful environment as guests sleep over at the churches and the sites. And you can go to volunteercecil.org to find out more information, or our website, which is www.meetingground.org.
You must be psychic because you anticipated my next question.
Wow.
Thank you. That's the Meeting Grounds website again, please.
Yes, that's www.meetingground.org.
Great. Anything now? The holidays are coming. Do you do anything special for your guests for Christmas or for the holidays?
Yes. So at the day center, we're gonna get ready to decorate. Have that experience together with music, with cookies, with, all of that stuff. And then also for the emergency rotating shelter, I know the host wants to plan something really special for our guests. So a lot of times they get gifts and different things that oftentimes people don't realize it would be nice for them to get that. So we're definitely gonna try to keep planning some more things and think of how can we express to them love. Especially this season that's so hard.
That's good. That's good. As the year winds down, during the course of the year, starting last January 1, do you have any idea how many guests you have served or helped?
So on average, we see about 205 a month. And lately, we've been seeing over that. So we've peaked up to 243. I can't really say what the trends are and why, but it's definitely more opportunity to reach more people.
And do you think, Shenise, that there are people who are homeless that do not partake of your services? And any idea on how many of them there are? I know the health department does a point-in-time survey once a year to determine, who's out there. But any idea what percentage of people who are homeless do not partake of your services?
I don't know, and I can't even imagine what that number would be, being that we already see 200, or so a month. But we see new people every single month, and that says something. There's more people that say, we didn't realize you were here, So I'm afraid to know what that number is, but, we're here, and I'm only hoping that we can, begin to serve more and more.
Because I'm thinking, the folks that don't come there, that may be really in kind of a loose situation. I don't know that they would ever see this show. How do you reach them? I mean, you could say something now, they would never hear it.
Right. I think a word of mouth. A lot of people that use the services, as they come, they're very friendly people,
Right.
So as people come along their path, they want to help and say, hey, I know a place that I go to. So that's oftentimes, I think, how we see a lot of our new guests come in. So as with any advertisement, word of mouth is the best, and I do see that happening a lot.
Well,
And then, of course, you mentioned the different organizations. So those are other entry points as well. And so I do get calls from those agencies that say, hey, I have a guy or a lady. Can I send them your way?
Great. That's good to hear. Anything else the two of you would like to share?
Well, I'll add to what Shenise was talking about. This starting year, one of my goals as volunteer coordinator is to do more of the recruitment part of it, actually going out and meeting people where they are. Rather that's, where they lived in their tents and everything, or just different organizations that we are not partners of. To get that connection, or even people that we may have had and it fell off. So just building those connections back up so that we have everything we need as far as the partnership.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Definitely.
Well, thank you both. Good luck to you over the holidays, and thank you for taking care of folks who are perhaps a little less fortunate than we are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, welcome once again to the Discover Cecil segment of Cecil Weekly. We have a very special guest tonight, my good friend, percussionist, songwriter, Pete Bernardo. Pete, welcome.
How you doing, Rob?
I'm doing great for an older gentleman. How about yourself?
I'm getting older every day.
It beats the alternative now, doesn't it?
Yep.
So, we have you on the show tonight, December 5th, 20 shopping days till Christmas. I hear you have a bootleg CD that I want to get. and you're going to share a song with us, and hopefully you'll tell our viewers a little bit about your background and musical experience and some of the things you like. So you're a percussionist and a songwriter, Pete.
Yeah.
I first met you as a percussionist, I guess, a few years back, and we had the pleasure of marching together in the Elkton Memorial Day Parade, and you played the big giant bass drum.
Very much fun.
Yeah, yeah, I had a lot of fun. I had a great time.
We did it 3 times, didn't we? Yeah.
It's 3 times, and we won some trophies and things like that. You actually live in Elkton, right?
Yes. I moved all the way to Elkton.
From Jersey.
From Glasgow. No,
Oh, from Glasgow.
Yeah, yeah.
And you went to Glasgow High School.
No, I went to Middletown.
Oh, Middletown. And you landed in Elkton.
Yep.
So,
All the way in Florida, remember that? Yeah.
Florida? Whereabouts in Florida?
Ormond Beach area, Daytona.
Oh, Daytona.
Mhm.
Yeah. Know it well. They have a big python problem down there now.
I'm going there, so it will.
You'll take care of it. I have confidence that you'll take care of it.
I'll worry about them when they get up here.
So, Pete, a little bit about your musical background. I've seen you play guitar. I've seen you play drums. I've seen your percussion setup, which is phenomenal. Why don't you tell our viewers about the way you do your maracas? Because I think you can describe it pretty in a pretty cool way.
The way I do them?
Yeah, you have a special set of maracas.
Oh, I have some Latin percussion maracas with the plastic top that I put some gloves on. I should have brought them with me to show everybody. But,
Yeah, and it looks
it dampens
like
down the plastic sound a little bit, and you know.
it looks
They
like
work
you're
out pretty
shaking
good.
2 hands there. It's
Right.
it's great. It's really great. Very visual. Pete you're a very visual performer
Mhm.
when you do all that stuff. So, which came first, the percussion or the guitar?
I'd have to say percussion. I mean, my whole life I've been tapping on anything I can get hold of, you know, riding down the road, tapping on the roof, you know. I didn't play any music in school, but after I got out of high school, I got my first set of drums, played a little bit, on and off, go to work, get in the band, play some drums, quit that, go back to work, you know.
No,
Working the whole time, no doubt, but
yeah.
sometimes you got to concentrate more.
Yes,
on
the
working
dilemma
part.
of the working musician,
Yeah,
working the
so-
job and working the music,
Yeah,
and both things are kind of a lifelong quest,
that's right.
really.
You're doing it.
And it's I'm looking in Webster's.
Oh, not that.
Under living the dream, you're living the dream. So,
Now we're
you're
on
playing in a
Cecil
band
TV.
now as well.
Yes, I play with Rob Chirnside, who was a guest on this show. I believe the first episode. They have a family band, and Doug plays drums in it. And I'm a percussionist.
Doug, our producer-director,
That's right, Doug Donnelly.
another drummer. I'm a drummer as well.
That's right. We're all drummers.
I think we need to start a parade.
It's the only thing you can hit without really getting in trouble. So,
Good point, Pete. I
Like
knew
when-
there was a reason
like
we
when
had you on
children
this
come up
show.
and say, "Hey, can I play those?" and their parents go, "Oh no, don't hurt it." I'm like, "You can't hurt it. It's a drum." You know.
You really can't hurt them. I had a
Yeah.
set of drums washed down the Brandywine River in a hurricane, cabled together, found them a mile down the river and brought them back, dumped the seaweed and the clams and everything else out of them. They were fine.
Cool.
So yeah, and it's a beautiful thing.
So you
Love to
should have
watch you
floated
play.
with them, though. You're playing while you're floating down the river.
No, not like that. But I love to watch you play, Pete, and I know you're going to share a song with us tonight.
Yes.
The drums came first, then you got into songwriting and
Yeah.
playing the guitar.
I got a guitar, kind of taught myself the chords, how to play, and from there, my mind just put forth some words. So I decided to record them and write them down. That way I could remember them. And I'm going to play one for everybody tonight.
Great, that's great. Now, I saw you playing with the Bird Dog Band a few weeks ago. You were playing percussion and playing guitar. And it was at the Kennett Brewing Company in Kennett Square.
Yes.
You play there. Where else do you play? And do you have any upcoming gigs coming up with that band?
Mainly right now, I'm helping out at the open mic at Wesley's on Tuesday nights. And whenever Mr. Chirnside right here will ask me to play with him, I'll play with him if he wants.
It's on my
other
to-do
than
list.
that-
It's on my to-do list.
Just trying to do some solo stuff. I actually do want to record a CD that I can let people hear. I've done a couple myself, but the sound levels are up and down. Guitar is not loud enough. The vocals are too loud, you know. And it's not worth, hey, you want to hear this CD? And everybody goes, oh man, it sounds like crap. So,
Well, you know what, Pete? The good thing is you can tell everybody you know to tune in to Cecil.tv and hear your performance tonight, because I'm sure it's going to be stellar.
I hope so.
And your songs, they're all over the map, dealing with this, that, and the other thing. Do you have a particular way that you write songs?
Basically, a lot of my songs deal with truth, because there's so much media, so much everything else going on. I don't have any idea who's telling the truth now.
So
I'm lost.
you play the guitar, you channel life as we know it, and it comes out in a song.
Right.
Let's hear it. Thank you, Pete. Anything else
Thank
you
you.
want to say, tell our viewers?
No, that's it. I'll play a song.
I have your card.
When I do put out a CD, it's going to be called Pieces of Fog. I already have the title.
None of your business, like that's on your
That's
card?
my business card.
Okay.
None of your business.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Thank you, Pete. Let's hear it.
Will do. Hi, I'm Pete. I wrote this song here. It's called Plastic World. I was just on. Hopefully this is what we were talking about, but we'll see. And don't say you're sorry for the State of the Union. We live in a plastic world. Better things for better living. Technology has been unfurled. It's too late and there is no turning back. Is there nothing that we can do? Damage control and public relations save the image of the chosen few. But is there some truth in this land of make-believe? And do the things that I am told, do they have integrity? I'm lost in a world from which I cannot retreat. It's filled with a madness that I will not concede. And we've gone to war and counted the dead in defense of our ideals. Take a drink or have a smoke, escape from what is real. And if you want a happy ending, you can watch it on TV. It's always on 24 hours. You can trust your faith in thee. But is there some truth in this land of make-believe? And do the things that I am told, do they have integrity? I'm lost in a world from which I cannot retreat. It's filled with a madness that I will not concede. The wind is still, the fog is lifting, it's the dawn of a brand new day. We take comfort in something familiar, the words of an old cliche. Sometimes I think if I was a bird, I'd stand up and fly away. But here I am, alone with my thoughts, and there's nothing left to say. But is there some truth